dropped confetti into the river to remember the thousands of people who have to die each year trying to find safety on our shores. Nobody should have that indignity. Nobody should suffer. A country with so much resources who won't open their doors to people in desperate need. So it's been great to be welcomed by the Newcastle and people from the North East. Next year, join us on the walk if you want to do the long walk from Sunderland to here. But join me.
Yeah, give him a clap.
Oh,
give him a clap.
We've got a chant. What do we want? Freedom. When do we want it now? Do you remember that one? What do we want? Freedom. When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Freedom.
When do we want it now? Give our people freedom!
This march is called by Beyond Borders. It's a group supporting asylum seekers and refugees in the Northeast, and it's planned and coordinated by other groups in Newcastle with the same ideologies. This march is part of the Refugee Week event for 2015, and the main demands, the main reasons why we are organizing this march are three. One, we want the UK government not to bomb Libya. They had the intention of coordinating a resolution of the United Nations Security Council with other EU countries to bomb Libya. So we want we want refugees and migrants to have a safe passage into Europe. They caused the problem. The Western countries caused the problem in Africa, in other parts of the world, in the Middle East. So they have to be responsible for whatever consequences comes out of that their occupation. So we are saying, don't bomb Libya. Let migrants come to Europe free. You cannot set a house on fire and tell the people not to run out. Secondly, our demand is end to indefinite detention in the UK. UK is the only country in Western Europe in the whole of EU that has indefinite detention of immigration offenders. So for whatever reason, people are free from their country, they come here and you put them in detention for months and for years. We are saying all immigration detentions in the UK should be closed down. And thirdly and locally, we are saying an end to destitution. Many asylum seekers find themselves destitute for no reason of theirs. So we are saying there should be decent housing for all, for asylum seekers and for everybody in the UK. UK is a country that is rich to provide for its people. Nobody should be left destitute. No asylum seeker should be made destitute. That is the reason why we are having this march, and we have support from other organizations, from Newcastle Unite, from Fight Racism, Fight Imperialism, from the Angelo Center, from the Right to Remain, and so many other organizations. So that is why we are here.
I was a young adult under the Labour Party, and I saw the expansion of the immigration detention centres, the privatisation, and I thought that was terrible, and it was absolutely disgusting having to talk to 8-year-olds who were translating for their parents, trying to negotiate access to a solicitor because they couldn't speak the language. It was horrific. The dawn raids that used to happen early hours in the morning, where families were snatched out of their beds through communities, bewildered, still in their pajamas, sometimes half-dressed, and put into vans. I thought that was as bad as the immigration policy could get. How wrong I was. Now we're in a situation where just in the first few months of this year, over nearly 2,000 people have drowned in the Mediterranean because the government has deliberately stopped rescuing people. And now what is their solution for the waves of people who want to come because their life is not safe for them, largely due to policies carried out by European and American powers in the first place? What's their solution? They want to go and bomb those people in Libya. Can it get any more horrific? Of course it can, and we need to make sure that it doesn't. We need to make sure that our message of no human being illegal, of dignity and justice for all, for freedom to move, freedom to return, freedom to stay. These messages are important messages, and we've shown today that the people of the Northeast, whether they were born here or whether they were an immigrant to the Northeast, however, we all know it takes at least 3 generations to get a Geordie passport, but it doesn't matter because the Northeast is a welcoming place, and we've come together today. Some people marching all the way from Sunderland for Refugee Week to show that we are in solidarity with our brothers and sisters in this country, whether they be immigrants, asylum seekers, refugees, and we are also in solidarity with our brothers and sisters around the world. There is no point in fighting for rights for refugees without also pointing out and demonstrating against the disgusting policies of our government abroad, wars abroad. Is it really surprising that in the last decade we've had lots of people coming from Iraq, from Syria, from Nigeria? These are countries where there are big oil interests. There are wars that our government is involved in. Similar things are happening in Ethiopia and Eritrea. Everyone here that's here, especially if you're from a different country, you know your story, you know what's happening there, and we need to make sure that people in this country know what's happening there. Because without newspapers, which focus on one story for about a day and then leave it. I remember reading about Zimbabwe a few years ago, and there were articles, even in the free newspapers, the Metro, talking about children being forced to eat carpets to survive, leather carpets. The next day, there was a hurricane in Haiti, I think it was, and suddenly Zimbabwe wasn't in the news anymore. And this is what happens constantly. The news is like an industry, and a story is in there for a few days, but the people are still there, and they're still suffering, and they've got rights, and they've got agency, and they're our brothers and our sisters.
What are you doing with that? Eh? What are you doing with that, you mug?
Illegal immigrants off our streets!
What are you doing with that? Eh? You mug! You shut up as well! You bunch of mugs!
I'm protected!
Who
Are you fucking protected?
Stand there and tag. What you want about money?
No, but I did like to say that people have been moving ever since the first river dried up. People have been saying Britain's full since about 1066 when the Normans arrived. Then the Vikings came, and the Romans, of course, they were a big problem. Oh boy, but did we have trouble with the Romans? God, then the bloody Vikings with their horns on their heads. All these friggin' foreigners, you know. I mean, none of us are even British anymore when you look at it. But I do like to remind the people on the other side of the road that St. George never came to England, and his mother was Palestinian and his father was Turkish. They're supporting a bloody foreigner themselves. Just makes me laugh because they have no idea. That's it. And nobody is illegal. Seriously, no one is illegal. They're illegalized by stupid laws. That's all.
I'm here part of this demonstration because I think the immigration policy we have in this country is nothing short of racist, and we want to make clear that we don't support this, and we want to end detention. We don't want the government to bomb Libya, and we don't want deportations. Also, the issue of housing is just, it's outrageous. There are private companies making a profit out of people seeking asylum. The same is true with the detention centres. Meanwhile, in our country, in Britain, you know, youth centres have been shut down, play centres, now Sure Start centres are under attack, community libraries. These issues are linked. You know, it's the same government that is attacking working class people in this country that's also going to war in other countries and forcing people to flee. And so, it's the same enemy. We have the same enemy. So I'm here against racism and also against austerity.